I knew something had been quietly living in my husband's mind long before he ever said it out loud. It was in the way he would pause when looking at me, not just admiring, but imagining. In the way his fingers would linger just a second longer than usual, like he was holding back a thought he wasn't sure how to share. And then one evening he finally did. "I want to see you completely taken care of," he said softly, "in a way where you don't have to do anything at all." I smiled at first, thinking I understood, but when he explained what he meant, what he had been thinking. About 4 months, my breath caught in a way I didn't expect. A quiet room, soft music, a professional presence focused entirely on me, and him, just watching, feeling, taking it all in. I should have been uncomfortable, but I wasn't, because the way he said it, it wasn't about distance. It wasn't about replacing anything between us. It was about witnessing me, in a way he had always wanted to. And what happened that night didn't create distance between us. It brought us closer in a way I still feel every time he looks at me now. I didn't say yes immediately, not because I didn't trust him, but because I needed to understand what I was saying yes to. For days, his words stayed with me. "I want to see you let go." It echoed softly in my thoughts while I went about my routines, and slowly, something shifted. I realized how rarely I allowed myself to truly relax, not just physically, but emotionally. There was always something to do, something to manage, something to hold together, and maybe, just maybe, he had seen that before I had. When I finally agreed, it wasn't hesitant. It was intentional. "If we do this," I told him quietly, "it has to feel right every step of the way." He didn't hesitate. "It will," he said, "I promise." That evening felt different from the moment it began. The room had changed, soft golden light, shadows settling gently into the corners. A calm melody played quietly in the background, blending into the atmosphere instead of standing out. Even the air felt warmer, safer. He stayed close as everything came together, his presence steady beside me. Not once did he rush me. Not once did he make it feel like something was expected. When the therapist arrived, there was a quiet professionalism that instantly put me at ease. No awkwardness, no tension, just calm. I remember glancing at my husband again. He was sitting a little further back now, giving space but not distance. His eyes met mine for a brief second, and in that look, there was reassurance, and something deeper, something emotional. At first, every sound, every shift in the air, even my own heartbeat felt louder than usual. But slowly, that awareness softened. Each moment unfolded gently, without urgency. There was a rhythm to it, steady, grounding, almost meditative. And without realizing when it happened, I started letting go, not in a dramatic way, but quietly. The kind of release that happens when you realize you don't have to hold yourself together for anyone. I wasn't thinking about how I looked or what I should feel. I was just there, present, and for once, I wasn't giving, I was receiving. Every now and then, I looked toward him. He hadn't moved much, still sitting in the same place. It had changed. There was something deeper in his eyes now. Not just admiration, something more personal. Almost like he was seeing a version of me he had always hoped I would allow myself to be. He was there, fully, not interrupting, not intruding, just witnessing. And suddenly, it made sense. This wasn't about the moment itself. It was about what the moment revealed. A softer side of me, a quieter version, one that didn't carry the weight of everything all the time. And the way he looked at me in that space, it wasn't distant. It was deeply connected. Time seemed to blur after that. The music faded into the background. The room softened, and everything became simpler. There was no pressure to respond, no expectation to be anything other than exactly what I was in that moment. Calm, open, at ease. And in that stillness, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Not excitement, not even happiness in the usual sense, but peace, the kind that settles deep. When it ended, the silence felt different, full but gentle. I stayed still for a moment, letting it all settle inside me. Then I felt him move closer, slowly, carefully, as if he didn't want to disturb what had just happened. His hand found mine first, familiar, warm, and when I looked at him, I saw it clearly. That emotion he had been holding all evening. It wasn't about what he had seen. It was about what he had felt. "You looked free," he said quietly. I didn't answer right away because I was still feeling it, but when I finally leaned into him, resting my forehead lightly against his, I knew exactly what he meant. Later that night, as he held me close, there was no distance between us. If anything, there was more closeness than before, because what he had asked for, what he had quietly wished for all that time, it wasn't something outside of us. It was something that brought me back to myself. And in doing that, it brought me closer to him, in a way words still can't fully explain.